All right, hello everybody. Going live, trying to go live again. Just want to tell everybody there needs to be most definitely a severe thunderstorm warning issued out on this storm. We've been trying to go live again. It could not go live. I don't know what in the world is going on, but definitely needs to be a warning put out on this storm. Currently trying to track it right now and having problems with it. But definitely needs to be a warning put out on this storm right here. Getting reports of some damaging winds with this storm as it's moving through Scottsboro and even Hollywood. So there's currently no warning on it at the moment. There is a special weather statement, but we've got reports of some wind damage in the Scottsboro area due to this storm as it moves on across. So again, been trying to go live for a minute now. We've got some reports of some potential wind damage in Scottsboro. Roger that. I believe PD is also trying to get through to Huntsville to do the same thing. But we did have some reports of potential wind damage in Scottsboro. That was what I was hearing. So I've been trying to get this to go live for a few minutes now. So yeah. So some very high winds being reported as this is moving on through Scottsboro. We have heard of what sounds like some power poles, some damage there. I won't add to it because I'm not sure, but that's what I've heard. Can anybody get through to EMA? Jackson County EMA, can anybody, any of y'all on frequency? All right. All right, everybody. So this.
26, you may go ahead and call Jackson County EMA and let him know.
Yeah, if someone could give him a PX, see if he's aware of this. It looks like they're weakening out right now at this point, but just a minute ago there was definitely some very high winds, maybe damaging winds with that storm, even some hail. So there needed to be a warning out on that. But right now it looks like it's weakening on the latest scan. But the reports that we got coming through, there should have been a warning on that. Roger that. Yeah, just see what's going on, if you don't mind. Oh, there we go. There we go. Stand by.
The National Weather Service in Huntsville
There we go.
has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Jackson County and northeastern Alabama.
All right, all stations, severe thunderstorm warning has been issued out. Stand by.
It is at 45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 9:58 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Hollywood, 47 miles northeast of Scottsboro, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. FEMA reports 58 miles per hour winds in Scottsboro and power lines down. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts. Source, emergency management.
Yes, finally.
Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations affected include Scottsboro, Bridgeport, Tater, Stevenson, Hollywood, Peter, Pisgah, Judgment, and for your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building.
All right.
A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued up to 10:40.
All right, so this is what I have been going off about for a while now. So here we go.
Delaware, Gilbert, Jackson.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Some stations have reported 58 mile per hour wind gust, and also some damage in the Scottsboro area. So if you're in Scottsboro, there was some wind damage with that. Been trying to go live for a few minutes now. So I've been trying to get a hold of Jackson of EMA on the chat here. Can't get a hold of them, but evidently they got the report. So severe thunderstorm warning issued out for that. Some damaging winds as that moves on through, and that does include DeKalb County. So I got to go ahead and grab that up really quick and give that out. This is KO4FUN to all amateur radio operators. Be advised the National Weather Service in Huntsville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and that does include northeastern DeKalb County and northeast Alabama. That's until 10:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 9:58 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Hollywood, or 7 miles northeast of Scottsboro, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. Emergency management reports 58-mile-per-hour winds in Scottsboro and power lines down. Hazard will be 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Source will be emergency management. Locations impacted would be Scottsboro, Bridgeport, Henniger, Stevenson, Hollywood, Ider, Pisgah, Dutton, Bass, and Martintown. This is KO4FUN. All right, Station 58, all stations. We are currently active for severe thunderstorm warning.
TM4, Station 51, standing by monitoring.
Station 26, stand by.
All right, so we are live due to a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me go ahead and get this fixed as well. Okay.
Station 56, standing by.
Copy 56. We have 56, 51, and 26. Got y'all checked in. So it looks like let me check that that scan right here out again. So I do note some broad rotation with this around Hollywood, in between Hollywood, kind of towards kind of northeast of Scottsboro. There, I am noting some a little bit of rotation there with that. Very broad. Ten 4 received. I did note some rotation as that storm moved over Scottsboro, so that's interesting. Looks like a bit of rotation as it moved over Scottsboro. Looks like kind of south of Scottsboro and off to the northeast there. I've noted a bit of rotation there, so that's interesting. Okay. We may have had a brief spin up near Scottsboro. I'm looking at it on the scan here, and I actually did see something there. Correlation coefficient, it does show something developed, it looks like to the south of Scottsboro, tracked on off to the northeast toward Hollywood, and has weakened out. So we may have briefly had a spin-up tornado. Looks like south of Scottsboro, very close to Scottsboro, and went toward Hollywood, and it is now gone. I was just noting rotation on that storm south of Woodville earlier as it was crossing on off to the northeast. Lost internet for a few minutes and lost my ability to go live, but it does appear to me there could have been a brief tornado spin up over Scottsboro and track northeast. So let me save these screenshots because EMA is definitely going to need these. So bear with me. I'm going to work on getting a video of this and try to get it sent over to EMA if I can. So everybody, I know you're probably wondering what is going on. Was there a tornado? Is there a tornado on the ground? You need to let me know something. At this time, I do believe there could have been a spin up that went over Scottsboro, but it has weakened out. I'm currently getting a screenshot here for EMA. So I'm going to save that and send it in to EMA as soon as I'm available to do so. Station 58, I got a screenshot I'll send into EMA once I get free here. So could have been a brief spin up over Scottsboro, or just slightly south of the town of Scottsboro there. I mean, barely south, like almost right in the city limits there of Scottsboro, and weakened out as it's going toward Hollywood. But I did see something on the radar that caught my attention, and correlation coefficient did also pick up something that looked like a brief spin up. Again, can't fully confirm that at this time. Just going by what I'm seeing on velocity, it was a very quick, very, very quick spin up. It would have occurred just to the south of Scottsboro. Let me get a different radar up really fast and see if we can't get that one up. I'm so sorry, guys. I have been trying so hard to go live and give everybody a heads up of what I believe I was seeing here. And that's why I'm like, there needs to be a warning or something put out on this. This is absolutely insane. And I couldn't get the thing to go live for nothing. All right, we'll switch radars over here. All right, we're swapping back over to our secondary radar really quick. I'm going to back away and take a look at the high-res velocity and see if we can't pick that out again with the, yeah, there was definitely something trying to develop. Absolutely. All right, so we got a wind damage report. Yeah, emergency management, large trees down in the roadway. South Hollywood, tree thunderstorm damage. That would be right where the rotation occurred at. So let me stop this and back it up. Yeah, so I do believe we had a brief spin up tornado. I'm seeing a lot of signs that point to that. It would have been a EF0, according to what I'm hearing. Oh yeah, well, there is more than enough evidence there that there was more than likely a brief tornado spin up. So I'm going to get some of this information sent over to EMA very shortly once I clear everybody out. All right, so let's take a look at everybody really quick. Okay, looking at the comments. Sorry, trying to do like several things at one time here. I believe by radar evidence, there's enough to say there was a brief spin-up tornado there in Jackson County as it moved towards right over Scottsboro. Actually, south of Scottsboro is where that main area of quick rotation would have been at. It was very quick. It was a very brief spin-up, and there appears to have been some damage there. And I can see that very clearly with two different radars. I'm able to see it on two different scans. So there was more than likely a brief spin-up tornado there in Scottsboro. I was watching an area rotation earlier south of Woodville, and that was going on off to the northeast there towards Scottsboro. That's negative. So still see some high winds, potentially some gusty to maybe damaging winds north of Hollywood. That area rotation is quickly weakened out. I do still see a little bit of what's left over of it south of Stevenson. But again, there was no threat of a tornado tonight. That just goes to show you that you never know. But not going to call it tornado fully yet because it's not been fully confirmed. But I can tell you by radar evidence here, it was a brief tornado. I would about put my reputation on hold for that. But we'll get back to it here. Taking a look at Doppler radar, still tracking those cells moving on off to the northeast. And right now, north of Pisgah, just to the northeast of Hollywood. And there is still a severe thunderstorm warning out for that. So let me jump on that really quick. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Jackson County and northeast Alabama, northeastern DeKalb County and northeast Alabama. So with that being said, if you're in Eider, you could have some damaging winds with this stuff. So let me go ahead and do an update really fast on here. This is KO4FUN to all amateur radio operators. Be advised again that we are still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in effect for northeastern DeKalb County until 10:45 p.m. Doppler radar currently looking like the heaviest of the activity now is going to be moving toward Henniger and also the Eider area currently. This is KO4FUN standing by. All right, I'm going to need to save this screenshot. Station 58, all stations. There could be, I believe there is some more showers, but I believe this is the main line that's ahead of it right here. So we're keeping a close eye on that. We're still tracking some heavy thunderstorm activity over Hollywood and moving to the northeast. Looks like Henniger's got some heavy activity. But right now, the heaviest stuff is just north of Pisgah. And I'm still keeping an eye on that cell that produced that rotation there. And that's going to be due to several different outflow boundaries interacting with each other. We had an outflow boundary moving in from the south and interacted with an outflow boundary to the west. They both met right about Scottsboro where that cell rotated really quickly and it picked up. But I'm watching it again. It still got my concern just a little bit. It's north of Pisgah, so I'm still watching it. Yes, I believe this was the only. This is probably going to be it, but the quick spin up would have been due to outflow boundaries, which we have that a lot. When we get these storms that become outflow dominant, they start producing outflow boundaries, and you get just enough twist with our upper, environment here in northeast Alabama being higher up. We get these storms that quickly rotate, quickly produce some damage. Tornadic damage, and then they're gone, just like what we've seen here. That was a classic spin up. It's going to be EF0. I would almost base, would put my reputation on for it because I'm that 99% sure that that's what it was based off radar evidence. We also had reports coming in on the app of police, law enforcement reported that their vehicles were being pulled, like pushed off the roadway almost. So some very strong winds to be, moving vehicles around like that. So I just want to throw that out there. Those are some very high winds there as that came through, and Doppler radar did indicate some rotation there too. Thankfully, I'm able to get everything going back. It looks like everything is going back like it should be. So hopefully we stay live here until that moves on out. I'm still watching some higher winds there to the northeast of Hollywood, but I am keeping an eye on this thing. Don't think I'm not. There could still be some damaging winds. There's a warning in effect. If you're in Stevenson, Shiloh, Bridgeport areas, Eider, you could have some damaging winds out of this. And I'm watching this again because it's starting to grab my attention once again. But let me show you where this little tornado would have been at. And I can actually see it. By looking at this scan here, I can see it visually even now going through the scan there. So let me circle it and see if you guys can see it. But look at that green and red there. You notice it looks like a pinwheel almost right there, or a pecan roll. If you've ever seen a pecan roll, it looks like one of those. Right here, right there is where that tornado was at. Very quickly, looks like it was very close to the Grant subdivision, but really quick spin up there. It was on the ground and gone. So definitely a nice little spin up there from that cell. And if I can help out any with this, I'm going to go ahead and get a screenshot of this. But I'm going to watch it again, make sure I'm not seeing anything developing yet again. So I'm going to watch it, but going to get a screenshot of this and send it in to EMA as well, because any evidence that they can get, to help them with the process of, what I'm trying to say, the process in rating it or confirming that that's what it was, the better. So this will be evidence that they can use, Doppler radar evidence, just in case nobody has any, because there was really, everybody was in left field tonight. The internet was messing up like crazy, so there may not have been any radar. So this helps out a lot, and of course it's volunteer. We don't work with EMA in any way. We volunteer our time to send data and help out the community and other communities. That's what we do. So Station 58, all stations. We're still monitoring these thunderstorms as they're moving on off to the northeast. So right now, it almost looks like this storm, may be trying to do something again. I'm watching it northeast of Hollywood at this time, so I'm going to switch around. So we've got tree reports, wind damage reports from EMA, trees down. I believe EMA is on scene there. I can't confirm it, but I believe Jackson County EMA is on scene, and they're currently noting, putting reports out. So I'm going to keep an eye on this storm again, moving off to the northeast. Looks like, get my radar back up here again. Now, looks like the heaviest activity now is going to be approaching Stevenson, even the Eider area getting some of that. I'm going to be monitoring this little cell here. Warning still in effect for another 25 minutes for northeastern DeKalb County and northeastern Jackson County. This is Station 58 standing by, 1020. So this thing has got a lot of lightning showing back up in it again, so I'm keeping a close eye on that.
Station 51, copy.
I believe that's going to be due to a spin-up tornado. I've got evidence of that on radar. Very brief, but more than likely that's what went through south of Scottsboro a little bit. Was a brief spin.
Station 58.
Go for 58.
DeKalb County EMA severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for tonight at 10:19, and it's until 10:45 p.m.
10-4. Received. So watching this storm is starting to pick back up a little bit. Looks like it's going toward Bridgeport currently. So it could be some damaging winds going toward Bridgeport. Stevenson area, you could also have some damaging winds there.
I just tried to call Jackson County EMA and he didn't answer.
Yeah, I believe he's on scene with this damage. That's why he's not answering.
10-4.
But yeah, I actually, if everybody was watching my last stream, you saw me mention the rotation, and I said to EMA, "Are you guys seeing, are y'all seeing this storm here south of Woodville? It's got a little bit of rotation in it." But I imagine it's just something that caught everybody off guard. I mean, really.
Heavy lightning. I mean, some bright lightning out here, they
Yeah, 10-4. Copy that. They're not making it up. I can visually, show that there was a brief spin up. So they're not making it up. They're probably hearing it from me, to be honest. But I've got the screenshot. So let me show you guys. So if you'll look right here, see that little looks like as I was mentioning to others, looks like a pecan pie thing. It's not a pecan pie, but like a cinnamon roll almost. It's got a twist. You see right here, right there in that graphic. It's really quick. Look at that right there around Sam Grant subdivision. That right there would have been your brief spin up tornado, and that was and there also was a lot of wind change going on with it. We had a gust front develop to the west, moving in to the east, and we had another gust front coming in, so they all met together. But I'm noticing again some weak rotation with this thing, so this thing may not be done yet. I'm keeping a very close eye on this. Station 58 to all stations, be advised, this storm may not be finished yet. It looks like it is trying to rotate again, so I'm going to be watching it. That is going to be let me get a better location here. Good grief. Stand by, Station 58. The line of storms is actually moving away from Etowah County. At least this one is. High winds in Eider. Okay, thank you for that report. There's several stations trying to key up at once. Try again. Okay, so we've got rotation developing again near Old Fabius and Cameronsville. Station 58, all stations, be advised, we got broad rotation now near Old Fabius, moving toward Cameronsville, just south of Stevenson. That's going kind of towards Stevenson. We got some broad rotation developing again in that storm, so keeping a close eye on that. So seeing some really, really broad rotation here in this storm near Stevenson. That's moving on off to the northeast toward Bridgeport. So I'm noticing another area right now that's got my attention, which is right here. Another area of rotation there, kind of to the northwest of Shiloh. That's in the northeast portion of DeKalb, far northeast portion. And we're watching another area right here, broad area that could be some rotation trying to develop there. So we're watching those two areas, and that's based off of what I'm seeing as far as what the reflectivity looks like. And the reflectivity is also pretty much going along with this. You can see what looks like some rotation in there. So we're going to watch that very carefully. And we're especially going to watch that area right there northwest of Shiloh.
Station 46, are you available?
So again, we will always be around and make a way to do the weather. I just need everybody to work with me if I say
I'm
go.
at station 45. Are you there?
If I say go follow me on YouTube, it's for a reason, everybody. It's not because I'm trying to get, likes and follows and all that. It's because stuff like this happens where Facebook messes up and we can't go live on Facebook. But we're streaming through the Sand Mountain Weather Center page right now, thankfully for him for letting us do that. And we're also streaming through YouTube, but watching another little area rotation there. Weather Service has kept a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It's in effect for another 19 minutes. So this is going to be, looks like it's located near Stevenson or 7 miles south of Bridgeport, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So locations impacted will be Bridgeport, Stevenson, Eider, Bass, Martintown, Rosalie, Long Island, Russell Cave National Monument, Fabius, and Fackler areas. Also note that these storms have had a history of rotation and maybe even a brief spin-up tornado just to the southeast of Scottsville earlier. And, radar pretty much gives enough confirmation with that, and the correlation also gives you a good idea that that's exactly what we had there in Scottsboro. Let's see if I could run a scan back through again. But no, I can't back it up that far. But you could definitely see there was something there, most definitely. So it looks like a little warning area pretty much confined around Stevenson, Bridgeport areas. That's going to be currently outside of DeKalb County's listening area currently. So let me go ahead and make double sure that warning is out for DeKalb County. So it looks like it has been removed from DeKalb County, but does include Jackson County. So let me check this out really quick. Northeast Jackson County. Okay. This is KO4FUN to all amateur radio operators. The severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern DeKalb County has been canceled. There is still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northeast portions of Jackson County, but as far as our county, we've been lifted out of that warning. So this is KO4FUN. I'll be clear.
And for FUN, I'll repeat that you were doubled over bad. Thank you, 460.
Okay, let me check that. All right, this is KO4FUN. Can y'all read me?
Roger.
Okay, the warning that was in effect for DeKalb County, northeast portions of DeKalb, that's now been canceled out. So our county, DeKalb County, has been cleared of that warning. However, there is still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the far northeast portions of Jackson County. This is KO4FUN. All right, so we are still keeping an eye on northeastern portions of Jackson County. No problem, Maryla Weldon, and please like and follow my YouTube. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube, you need to do that. In case of outages and emergencies where Facebook's down, because as crazy as things are now, you just never know what you're going to have or not have to work with. Still noting a little area rotation here north of Eliza. That's going to be south of Bryant in Jackson County. A little bit of rotation there. Keeping an eye on that. That will eventually move into Georgia, northwestern portions of Georgia there. And then it'll move on off to the northeast, kind of into the Tennessee area. So I am still noting a little bit of rotation with that storm. But so far, it's kept broad. It has not tightened up just yet. At Station 58, we are still active due to a severe thunderstorm warning in the northeast portion of Jackson County. That should be getting out of there momentarily. All right, this Station 58, all stations. How many stations do we have checked in? I know we've got 51. We've got 26. Anybody else? Thank you so much,
And
TY.
as far as we know, it's just 4 of us.
All right, so yeah, follow my page, the Cobb County Severe Weather Team. I am going to get that fixed. I'm hopeful to have that fixed, hopefully.
56 is standing by.
All right, we got 56. Roger that. I got 51, 26, and 56. That's going to be Roger and Geraldine. Thanks for checking in there. Greta, you live right in the Sam Gant subdivision in Scottsboro. And again, I apologize to everybody for not being live sooner, but I have been trying to get live. I've been trying to get my radios to work, and they're based off the internet. None of that would come on and work correctly. And by the time I got it on, I was able to go live, thankfully. So I mentioned earlier, though, that area of rotation before our internet went out, and we lost internet service there for a little while. And it was due to Facebook. It wasn't on my end. It was due to Facebook. So I don't know. I have no clue what's going on, but there's definitely some problems. That's for sure. And I still don't like the way this storm looks at all. It's in Jackson County. So this is what's got me concerned. If you notice of how this storm looks, like, I mean, just the storm just doesn't look good. It looks like it's trying to rotate again. So I don't like the way that looks. And I'm going to keep an eye on it till it's completely out of Jackson County. And that's another reason I'm staying on storm relative velocity, because it actually is still rotating very broadly, but it is still, really broadly rotating at this point. But TY, thanks. Oh my gosh, Ty, thanks again for letting me live stream off of your Sad Mount Weather Center. I mean, that's the only option I had Facebook wise. So again, sorry for hogging your page up, but we're all doing the same thing. So hey, thanks again for letting me use your platform there to live stream this information out. I appreciate it. All right, so that broad rotation is broken up a lot. It looks like this storm's weakening out on the latest radar scan here. Yes, it is breaking up now, so that's good. Starting to break up, so this warning should be canceling very shortly. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Weather Service finds. I've got to send some of that information in. But I'm always watching the weather. You can just bank on that. I'm always watching it. And, if I'm not live and there's something going on, like I've told y'all before, if, you think that there's a tornado there, regardless if there's a warning or not, if you think the winds are too high or something don't feel right, always go by that instinct and take shelter, because there can be technological issues where I'm trying to go live like tonight and I can't go live. But go by your instincts on this. If you think something's not right, make sure you take shelter. Make sure you do that. The good news is this is it. The live's working fine now, but earlier it was a mess. It was in and out, constantly giving me problems. But right now it's working stable. Thankfully, we've had no problems. But Greta, thanks so much for watching. I'm so glad y'all are safe. And hopefully y'all don't have any damage too bad. But looks like that area of rotation might have just developed slightly northwest of you, just barely there, Greta. I mean, it was close to you. I don't think that happened. I'm over on the 99% side because I have correlation that shows a bit of a debris signature. I've got velocity that shows shows a very quick area of rotation, clearly an area of rotation that tightened up really quickly. I'm saying EF0 tornado. I mean, I am sure of it. So that's what I'm thinking happened in Scottsboro. That's, and I could be wrong, but like I said, I would base all my knowledge on it. That's what it was. because I had actually been watching it for just a few minutes. It started rotating south of Woodville, kind of in the northern parts of Marshall County, north of Grant, and then it tracked on off to the northeast. South of Scottsboro, it tightened up big time, like really quickly tightened up there. We started getting reports from law enforcement of their vehicles almost being pulled off the road. That was their words. Their vehicles was almost being pulled off the roads, and from what I heard, some tree damage and stuff. I don't have a lot more info other than that I can give out right now.
Yeah, I was thinking, once in a while I'm going to start covering Ball area.
Again, everybody, let me try to cut. I'm trying to cover everybody here. So let me back up and look. So I can give you some good news. The storms that were ahead of this, they're moving out. So very good line of heavy rain and storms moving on to the northeast through Fort Payne. Those will be going into Georgia. Looks like down to Cherokee County, they've got a special weather statement out there. The warning in Jackson County has been canceled. So the National Weather Service Huntsville did cancel that warning out. So Jackson County, you're not under a warning anymore. So that's good news. We'll wait on EMA to see what they officially say. But like I said, I know what it is. I'm going to send them some evidence in, just in case they don't have it. But again, that was definitely a tornado that touched down in Scottsboro. But we have storms, a few more storms and rain coming in from the west, as you can see. These will continue to move in through tonight. But we're currently at 62 degrees out. I don't see any more threat of a severe storm at this point. I believe what we just had pulled what the little bit we did have in here out. So, and actually last night, if you'll remember, or was it last night or the night before, I created a video, and I was looking at the, trying to think what it's called. This might take me a minute to figure out what it's called, but it was one of the high-res models, and it was predicting a little bit of supercell tornadic energy around Jackson County or DeKalb County. It was kind of in between last night, and that's pretty amazing that a quick spin up happens south of Scottsboro. Or actually just to the east a little bit. But that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we will have rain. We will have some more winds and stuff. But I believe the severe threat, we'll keep an eye on it, but I believe the severe threat's pretty much over with at this point. So let me correct this text really quick. Again, if you see something I don't see, let me know. Always use your instincts first. Okay, 4 utility poles of power lines down in that area, Scottsboro PD. Okay, yeah, that's like I said. It was a tornado. It was very quick. All right. Well, if you'd like to support us, here's how you can do it: like and subscribe first and foremost. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel. Also, in case things continuously get crazy and I cannot get my Facebook back up. Also follow Sand Mountain Weather Center because they are letting us live stream from their profile, their main page right now. So shout out to them, Sand Mountain Weather Center. Thank y'all for that. And also my page, DeKalb County Severe Weather Team. Make sure you go give it a like and follow. We will get this fixed eventually. There's just something absolutely wrong with Facebook right now. Okay, you're in Rome, Georgia. But yeah, like and subscribe. And also there, the banner, it tells you how you can send a donation if you would like to. You don't have to, but it helps us keep things going. Things have got crazy. I know it's hard on everybody. But if you'd like to say thank you, that's the way you can do it. By Cash App, don't send stars because I can't get them. You'll just be wasting your money if you send stars. So send it by Cash App if you'd like to send something. I appreciate it. And Rome, Georgia, you've got some storms to the west of you. They're moving on off to the northeast. It looks like you're just going to get some rain, honestly. Yes, I am live on YouTube also. I'm live on YouTube and Facebook. All right, so let me run it back by, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I will have to switch radar sites real quick. So give me just a second to do that, and we'll run back over what I believe was a tornado, and I'm sure of it. So we'll run back over some evidence real quick. Switching radars. Okay, so that decided that it just didn't want to work. So give me just a second. Okay. Make sure we're up. So let's back it up here. Okay, so by looking at the velocity here, I mean the reflectivity, you can see something that looks a little bit strange. But to be honest, if I wasn't looking at the velocity, I would have not thought much of this. It's the velocity that brought it to life to me when I was looking at it. Storm relative velocity. Let's bring that back up, and I'll show you exactly what I was carrying on about so crazily. So where was the tornado at? Well, to be honest, it was very quick. Right here, there's your beginning of it. Let's move forward a little on the next scan. You can officially see right here what looks like a swirl going on. You can see right there is where your tornado quickly developed. It wasn't fully condensed. It was in the air a bit, but just enough to get some damage on the ground. It was very quick. But right there it is, and we can also back that up with correlation coefficient, which actually showed some debris here around Scottsboro. There's your debris ball showing damage, that there was a lot of debris picked up at one time. So there's your debris ball. So it did touch down and pull some debris up. So it did in fact touch down, but really quick. But we can actually back it up and see just how quick this happened. So there it is. Look at this scan here. Nothing. If you wasn't looking at the radar, you would miss this completely. 2 scans, this debris ball shows up. 1 scan, 2, gone. So very quick. There's your debris, gone. So briefly touched down. What you're seeing is some of the debris that it picked up, high enough for Doppler radar to pick it up, and then it's gone. Absolutely just dissipates out. Let's take a look at a velocity scan, and we'll run it back through. You can see it a little bit better right there on the velocity scan. But again, most people would miss it. And that's pretty much what happened. But yeah, right there, and there's your damaging wind reports coming in. Where that pretty much, that's where the RFD would have been at. Some really high winds there and some wind damage. I'm going to run it back through again. But yeah, there was not much of a heads up here at all. Like it's crazy how quick this was. And without our other tools, you can't even see really much of anything until you bring these tools up. There you go. So wow, that's very interesting. Let me actually refix that. So the tornado would have actually been like right in this area somewhere. Right in there's where that tornado would have been at. Because we got our inflow, got our RFD perfectly in line there. So nice little spin up tornado, and then we got the EMA's damage report showing up right in line where that thing went at. Well, all right, we'll continue to cover everything. We'll let y'all know what we find out, of course, or, well, not what we find out, but what Huntsville finds out, and what EMA decides, that they found there. I know Josh is already out there. I'm sure of it. His phone has been blowed up by not only our team, but yeah, and you can see it actually started rotating, as I said, south of Woodville. So now we're starting to get some reports showing up from Marshall County. And that's exactly where I was tracking it at right there. There's Woodville right here. And just southeast of Woodville is where that area of rotation started. I started picking it up on the radar. So very interesting, straight in line with it. So again, it looks like if it touched down just to the west of Sam Grant subdivision, kind of toward, I think that's Crawford Road. Yeah, Crawford Road, and kind of close to the Scottsboro High School and Walmart Supercenter. Like maybe in that area. Again, I'm not looking at the storm on the radar anymore, but I'm guessing by what I saw. I'm going to say Walmart Supercenter, Scottsboro High School, just to the west of Sam Grant subdivision areas. Looks like somewhere right along there is where it would have touched down at. But yeah, I feel bad because this lady asked me earlier. She's like, "Is there a threat of a tornado tonight?" And I'm being honest with you. No, there was not. There was really not a threat of a tornado. So that wasn't a lie. But at the same time, we are in April. But thanks each and every one of you for hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us. Follow Sand Mountain Weather Center as well, because they let us go live. Okay, so he works at Walmart. Was there any damage toward Walmart, or was it? It could have been a little bit away from Walmart. I haven't looked at the exact area of rotation where it went over, but I was just guessing that it looked like it moved kind of toward the Walmart there. Have you got any reports for us there, Anna Marie? Has he told you anything? Is there power out? Is everybody okay? Like, kind of what we looking at there? I'm kind of curious. But yes, do me a favor, everybody. If there is ever severe weather, make sure you hunt me. Like, if you have to hunt me, go to YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. If I'm not live on my Facebook, go to Sand Mountain Weather Center. Like, if you see them live, run over there. If you don't see me live on the page, okay, you haven't heard from him. Okay, so hopefully everybody's all right over there. Like I said, it wouldn't have done a lot of damage, but I'm going to say the winds could have probably been around 70 miles per hour or higher. That's going to be interesting to see what the Weather Service says about that. But that's my estimate with power poles down and pulling a vehicle off the roadway. That's going to be at least 70, 75, maybe even 80, maybe more. I could be blown away by it. It could be more. But all right, Greta. Well, y'all be safe. I'm glad that I was able to get back on at least. I had to, just do what I had to do. I got tired of messing with my page, so I had to do something, and so we went live here. If you live in Henniger, to be honest, as I mentioned earlier, severe threats pretty much to the east. We will still have some showers and thunderstorms moving in. There's going to be a good bit of rain. We do still have some storms moving in. I'll run the radar back through one more time just so you can take a look there. Didn't mean to put that up. Trying to get rid of that. But we still have some storms, as you can see right there around Aniana. All that's pushing off to the northeast. Now, we're in April. This is tornado season. Just in case storms go absolutely crazy again, and they're not expected to, but just in case the unexpected happens, stay weather aware. But it looks like everything should be pretty much pushing out. All we should have is some rain and some thunder. Maybe that, pretty much be it with that main line already moving east. So give me just a second, and I'm going to run and take a look at our high-res models and see what they're saying about this line here. I'm kind of curious if the main energy is east of us, and I believe it is. It's 62 degrees outside. There's not enough energy in the air for nothing. So yeah, the high res models did put out they're showing a really, really low threat of a tornado spin up over in Marshall County and also Jackson. That was earlier. That's what moved through earlier. All right, so there's our cells that moved through earlier. We get, especially here in northeast Alabama, it shows around 11 o'clock, which is coming up right now. That batch that we see to the southwest will make its way further to the northeast. It'll move through Marshall County and DeKalb County, bringing some very heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds, but there will be some very heavy rain. Could be some thunder and lightning, gusty winds, all that with it. I'll keep an eye on that. Looks like after that batch moves through, looks like around 2 a.m. we have more individual cells develop with some rainfall. Some of that could be heavy, some more thunderstorms, and looks like it fully moves out of our listening area around, I'm going to say 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock in the morning, it's out of here. So lots more rain on the way. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I don't think anything else will be severe. But I'll watch it because this weather's crazy. Yeah, we'll definitely be watching it. So if we need to go live again, we will. Just make sure you've got these platforms in order. That way you can get me. Because, again, my Facebook, I will not be going live from it. I'm not going to even try to tonight because it's going to mess everything up again. So we'll be going live again from the Sand Mountain Weather Center page and my YouTube page, DeKalb County Severe Weather. Check it out on YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. Stay weather aware. We'll be keeping an eye on it for you just in case something else does pop up. But other than that, we're going to end it for now. When we get some more information up, we will post it. That being said, thank y'all again. Thanks so much for joining me here. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.